Um, as you know, EFS been EFS for a long time now. So
Yeah.
finding ways to grow, monetize, make a mark with the brand, my company, the LLC, all the things I do to promote it and just make it as big of a thing as I can myself.
Yeah.
It should be hard work, you know. This shit definitely is a challenge, and there's often times where I've been at the crossroads of like, damn, do I like, keep pushing with this shit? Do I just keep, trying to give my effort, energies, blood, sweat, and sometimes tears? Like I've literally, and this is my vulnerable moment, I've had moments where I've cried over like what the direction of what I was gonna do with my life
Come on now.
off of like, do I go one way and just take a check from somebody else, or do I really like stick my feet in the sand and just be like, nah, this shit has to work just because like the whole no plan B like kind of mentality and all that kind of shit. And I'm not the person that's ever gonna say no plan B's for everything because some of y'all motherfuckers need a plan B. And we just gonna put that out
Crazy.
there, you know. Some of y'all need a plan B, and sometimes you gotta really
Yeah.
decide when it is time to make that pivot. But like Steve was echoing, like life is gonna be hard one way or freaking another.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have great success and it's gonna be hard to get there. You could just be the person again who takes a check and gets spit on by your boss just to say,
Oof.
hey, you take this money and do whatever the hell I need you to do, and maybe not see any kind of like advancement from it, maybe not see any kind of appreciation for your boss from
Yeah.
it, like that kind of stuff. So one way or another, like we all got choices to make in life.
Yeah.
So choosing your hard, pause again, because it does sound kind of crazy
It
when
does, but I
you
get
put
it
it out
though.
there like that. But that whole shit aside, like choosing your hard is a very like deep rooted thing for people. And I'm again being vulnerable, being someone who's been there himself. You really gotta decide like if this is the life that you actually want, and
Yep.
even more so being in the state that I've been in all year, just like the whole stay uncomfortable thing, stay uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been times this year alone where the shit look all like peachy and like sunshine and rainbows. I've really had conversations with myself alone when nobody was around to be like, yo, like what the fuck am I really about to do
What are
here?
you doing?
Like what am I doing? How
Mm-hmm.
we like what's the next move? I don't know the next move. So I'm like, I really got to try to figure it out. But having those conversations with yourself is where you either lean one way or another. And it's not to say that everybody should be an entrepreneur, not to say that everybody should have the I'm going to go against the grain and do my own thing like mentality, because some people are just okay with taking the check, you know.
Yeah.
Some people is okay with just living in, hey, I don't have anything to worry about. My boss pays me. I got insurance. I got a house. I got a this, that, whatever. Like, and that's fine. Like, I'm never going to be the person to shit on anyone to say that you should want to do things a different way, because everybody ain't built for that. You know, everybody ain't built for that. And that's 100% fine. You have to make that choice within yourself as an individual, mentally, spiritually, all those things to like be okay with that. And if you are, I know people who's very, very happy. They've been working the same job for 20, 30 years. And I've been working for this company. They treat me great, or they don't treat me great, but they pay me enough and I can support my lifestyle. And that's
Yeah,
one
that's
way of
fair.
going about it.
Yeah.
But even still, you're going to have to deal with hardships and trials and
There's ups and downs.
tribulations
Yeah. Of
in that as well.
course.
What if you get clipped? What if you get fired?
Yep.
I've been in a state now where I sometimes have to worry about my job security and my other situation, and that's stuff that I ain't gonna expose on here just
No, no,
because
no, no.
it
But
ain't for y'all. That's me personally having to deal with my own feelings on that. But the other flip side of it is if you are gonna go that route, and this is more so like real talk and motivation, like sometimes those uncomfortable feelings that you really, really are sitting with to stick out what you feel like your mission, your purpose,
mm,
your core, your being is meant to
yeah.
be, and the things that you want to do in life. Like the hard conversations and the hard times when you're really sitting around looking like I don't know what the hell is about to happen, but I just got to take one step or one course of action towards whatever my goal is.
Yeah.
Whatever that success is for me. We talk about engineers for success. It's always moving, et
Come
cetera, et
on
cetera.
now.
Like sometimes if you're going to choose that this is your heart, it has to be an unwavering belief in whatever you're choosing to do.
Yeah.
And no matter how it pans out, you got to be okay with this is the path that I'm choosing to take.
Facts.
Like, this is the way I want to go with this. This is the way I want to feed my family. This is the way I want to get rich, if that's what success is for you. This is the way I want to make impact, if that's what success is for you. But being in that position, like, you really have to let those feelings seep in and, like, understand that shit ain't always going to be peaches and cream.
Nah.
Like, you know, and also just even this podcast, outside of the podcast, has been other things for me as well. But just having the chance to be here and see things kind of grow a little bit, but then it's like, damn, like, you know, there's still so much further to go. You know, there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many opportunities that I want to get to. There's so many kind of contents that I want to put out. Like, all those things are like down the road goals. And sometimes when you look down the road too far, it can deter you from the right now, you know. And we've talked about him often here on this podcast, but the thing that I loved about Kobe the most was his messaging on just enjoying or falling in love with the uncomfortable process to make little steps towards whatever the big thing is for you. Because if you just love the end result, then you ain't really gonna love it that much, you know, if it's just handed to you. But everything means more when you grind to literally go get that shit. And it's hard, and it's literally something that you gotta, like, beat your head against the wall or just sit around and, like, I gotta think about what the fuck I'm gonna do to make this shit work. And then you try shit and then it doesn't work. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, cool, I gotta pick myself up off the ground, try something else. That might not work too, until it's that one thing that's like, okay, we getting somewhere now. Let me lean into that. Let me make sure that's something that I can execute, and then the next thing is gonna happen from there. But all this shit is hard. Like, we've talked about it oftentimes in this podcast. We're in a space now where things are gonna get harder for everybody. We just in that state of society. So really choosing the way you want to go going forward is one way or another. Like, I know what it is for me, and at this point, the uncomfortable feelings that I've had to sit with mainly all year long, because it's been one of the most uncomfortable years of my life out of my whole 38 years. This has probably been top 1 or 2 most uncomfortable years I've ever been in. I've had to deal with so many new situations, putting myself in new thought processes of just like reacting to things that have happened most recently in my life, and just the way tables have turned and all that shit. And just leaning into it to be like, something good is going to come out of this, just because at heart my intentions are pure, my mentality is right, and then I just got to apply the effort to the things that I know are meant for me. Like, speaking into existence with yourself, stare at yourself in the mirror, whether you're an affirmation person, whether you're a person that likes to draw motivation from other successful people, like, whatever you need to do to keep yourself motivated and stick in that hard is just the space that you got to live in until that shit breaks through. And it's out there for you. It has been done by other people. One of my things to say to myself when I look myself in the mirror nowadays is like, why not you? Like, why not? Why not you? Steve Harvey is successful. Shit, freaking other black millionaires, billionaires, people just in general, like we talked about the Steve Jobs, like that. All these people had a moment of like, why not me? Like, and then they just ran with that shit. Yeah. So choose your heart, man. And again, it's no shade to anybody that just has the mentality, I'm just here to earn what I can and take whatever's given to me. But there are other people that are like the go-getters that want to go out there and conquer everything that they can while they got as many years on this floating rock as they have. So
swirling blue ball in space.
Yeah. So for me, that's my messaging for today on the Real Talk, man. Like, you literally have to choose your heart. And sometimes the shit I'm telling y'all is literally motivation for myself. Like, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I watch this pod back and I'm literally looking myself in the face, talking to myself like, bro, don't back off of what you're telling yourself and telling these other people, because you are gonna be a shining light for people to achieve whatever they can through your process.
I'll tell you right now, you already are. I'm just gonna let you know that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I hope so. And I ain't got it all figured out. Sometimes this shit look a lot more put together than some people may actually realize. It's like, bro, the podcast look great. Like, you're doing all this stuff with your training and this is that. Like, at all, like, are you in a great space? Sometimes I'm like, bro, if you only fucking knew. If you only knew the week I just had last week, if you only knew how, like, I didn't sleep one night and I had to get up and go do what the hell I got to do. If you only knew about the things I had to go through just to make it look as simple as it does for y'all on the other side of it, you know. But I guess that means you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're doing something right, bro.
So whatever you got to do to keep yourself motivated, man, just understand that life is going to be difficult.
I think you'll like
Get
today's
used
quote
to
too,
it.
though. By the